There are AI tools sitting online right now, completely legal, completely free to try, that feel like they shouldn't be allowed to exist yet. Tools that can listen to your meetings and remember everything so you never take a note again. Tools that write full working apps from a single sentence. Tools that turn your voice into perfectly written text faster than you can type. And most people scrolling past them right now have no idea they even exist. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what they are, how they work, and why the people already using them are quietly pulling ahead of everyone else. So stick around, because tool number 3 on this list is the one that made me stop and just stare at my screen in disbelief. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and tap the like, because on this channel, AI Unlocked Official, we dig up the tools nobody's talking about yet before they blow up. Alright, let's get into it. Imagine sitting in a meeting, actually paying attention to the person talking instead of frantically typing notes, and somehow, at the end, you have a perfect summary sitting in your inbox, complete with action items, decisions made, and even quotes you don't remember saying. That's not a fantasy. That's a tool called Granola, and it's already quietly changing how professionals handle their entire workday. Here's the wild part. Granola doesn't just transcribe what was said in a meeting, it builds what almost feels like a second brain that connects across every conversation you've ever had. Ask it what a client mentioned 3 weeks ago, and it pulls the answer instantly, without you scrolling through a single document. It runs on your laptop and your phone, and it plays nicely with other AI tools you might already use, connecting through something called Model Context Protocol, which basically lets different AI systems talk to each other like coworkers passing notes. Think about what that means for the average person drowning in back-to-back calls. Instead of losing information the moment a meeting ends, you have a growing archive that gets smarter the more you use it. And this is where it gets a little unsettling. The people using tools like this aren't just saving time. They're building what almost feels like an unfair advantage, because while everyone else is frantically trying to remember what was said last Tuesday, they already know. But memory is only half the battle. What if the actual bottleneck isn't remembering things? It's getting your thoughts out of your head in the first place. That's where the next tool comes in, and it might change the way you type forever. Here's a question. How many words per minute do you think you can speak versus type? Most people type somewhere around 40 words a minute if they're decent at it. But speaking, comfortably, naturally, most people hit over 150. That gap is enormous, and almost nobody is using it to their advantage, until now. A tool called Wispr Flow takes your spoken voice and turns it into clean, properly formatted, grammatically correct text in real time, across your laptop and your phone. Not robotic transcription full of ums and awkward pauses, actual polished writing, ready to send. You talk, it writes, and it adapts to how you speak over time, cutting out the friction of ever touching a keyboard for emails, messages, or even long documents. Now picture the kind of person who adopts this early. While everyone else is hunting and pecking through a reply, they've already spoken 3 paragraphs, reviewed it, and sent it, all in the time it took you to type 1 sentence. As more of daily life shifts toward voice-first interaction, and as artificial intelligence keeps getting faster at understanding natural speech, tools like this aren't a gimmick. They're a preview of how we'll all be interacting with computers in just a few years. But remembering things and writing faster is one story. What if AI could actually do entire chunks of your job for you, without you lifting a finger after you set it up? That's where things start to feel a little illegal. There's a category of AI tool quietly reshaping small businesses and solo creators, and it's called workflow automation, but don't let that boring name fool you. A tool like Gumloop lets you build entire AI-powered systems using drag and drop blocks, no coding required. You can set up a workflow that scrapes information from the web, processes it with an AI model, writes content based on it, and delivers the finished result somewhere else entirely, completely on autopilot. Imagine you run a small business and every single day you need to research competitors, write follow-up emails, and organize leads. Normally, that's hours of manual grinding. With a tool like this, you build the system once, and then it just runs, day after day, without you touching it. It's not replacing creativity, it's replacing the repetitive grunt work that eats up your entire day before you even get to the interesting part of your job. And here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. These automation platforms are often built specifically for AI-first workflows, meaning they're not just automating old-fashioned software, they're automating entire chains of AI decisions, one feeding into the next, like a factory line, except the workers are all algorithms. The businesses figuring this out early aren't hiring more people to keep up with demand. They're building systems that scale without needing to. And if you thought automating tasks was impressive, wait until you see what AI can now do with something as personal and human as music. For decades, making a professional-sounding song required instruments, studio time, and years of practice. Now, a tool can generate a fully composed, radio-ready track, complete with vocals, instrumentation, and structure, from nothing but a text description, in under a minute. This isn't some novelty toy either. The technology behind AI-generated music has gotten so good, so fast, that major music labels have actually signed licensing deals with these platforms. While at the same time, other companies in the industry have taken legal action over how these systems were trained. Let that sink in for a second. The same industry is simultaneously partnering with and suing over the same technology because it's genuinely powerful enough to matter. For content creators, marketers, and podcasters, this means original background music, jingles, and full soundtracks without ever needing to license a track or hire a composer. Type in a mood, a genre, even specific instruments, and within moments you have something that sounds like it took a professional days to produce. Most people watching this have absolutely no idea this level of quality is even possible yet with AI-generated audio. But this next tool might be the most jaw-dropping one on this entire list because it doesn't just help you work faster, it builds entire working software for you, from scratch. Picture this. You describe an app you want in plain, ordinary English, no code, no technical jargon, just a normal sentence like you're explaining it to a friend. Within minutes, a fully functional application exists, complete with a design, a working backend, a database, and even user login systems, ready to be used or expanded further. This isn't a mock-up or a rough sketch. It's real, deployable code. Tools built around autonomous coding agents can now take that plain language description and independently write, test, and fix the application until it actually works, correcting its own mistakes along the way without a human needing to babysit every step. Think about what that collapses. The traditional gap between having an idea and having a working product used to take developers, budgets, and months of time. Now, that gap can shrink down to an afternoon. Independent creators with zero technical background are launching real products, testing business ideas, and building tools for themselves that would have required an entire engineering team just a couple of years ago. This is genuinely one of those moments where the technology feels like it's moving faster than most people can even process, and the ones paying attention right now are the ones who are going to be building the next wave of businesses, apps, and products, while everyone else is still figuring out what these tools are even called. So here's the bigger picture, and it's worth sitting with for a second. Every one of these tools shares the same underlying shift. Artificial intelligence isn't just answering questions anymore. It's remembering for you, writing for you, automating for you, creating for you, and building for you. The tools on this list aren't hidden because they're illegal or secretive. They're hidden because most people simply haven't caught up to how fast this space is moving. And that gap between the people using these tools today and the people who will eventually catch on months from now, that's where real advantage lives. The people who experiment early, who aren't afraid to try something new before it's mainstream, are the ones quietly building a head start that gets harder and harder to catch up to. So here's my question for you, and I actually want to know the answer. Out of these 5 tools, which one would change your day-to-day life the most if you started using it tomorrow? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video opened your eyes to even one tool you didn't know existed, do me a favor and share it with someone who's still stuck doing things the old way, because trust me, they'll thank you for it later. The tools that feel illegal to know today are going to feel completely normal a year from now. The only question is whether you're going to be ahead of that curve or catching up to everyone who wasn't afraid to try something new first.